I've had a day. I mean, I went and picked up my meds. That was on my list of things to do. I have a big list of things to do, and I got exactly one of those things done. I rode my bike to the pharmacy and picked up my medication. Yay! It's better than not doing anything. It's better than not doing my workout routine. It's better than not eating well. I was tempted to buy some chocolate while I was at the grocery store, but I did not. You know what I don't understand about me? My therapists are trying to understand. The less weed I do, the more spacey outy dissociative I get, which normally it would be the other way around. I'll probably have some tonight, and I know I shouldn't be doing back to back. That's one of the things that I was gonna try not do, is not have it 2 days in a row. But I can do Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday without. Because, like, I gotta remember not to push myself too hard, right? And, like, right now it is holidays time. These are the days where I'm supposed to be, as much as I can, relaxing and hanging out with family and stuff like that. It's okay. I'm okay. Things are okay. It's all okay. I guess Jaime yesterday was not wrong. I was doing something. Not the most productive thing, but it was a fun thing. It was a thing that helped me mess around with, like, styles and make me, reconsider the style of art that I want to do and that kind of stuff. So that's good. After I picked up my meds, I meant to do more things, and I just kind of messed around on my phone and played Stardew Valley. I have been wanting to play Stardew Valley. In a weird way, I've been wanting to play it because I feel like it helps me better, because, like, it's a time management game, and that encourages me to, like, do better time management in my real life. And it also has some aspects that make me think about my game. But I've also just been getting lost in this. I don't know if it would be like a film or a limited series or what it would be, but I have this idea of a story in my head that I've had for a while, and I've been expanding on it slowly over time. I tried to write a short story based in it, but I was trying way too hard to, like, check all of the boxes to, like, be published, I think, is what the real problem was. Yeah, for a little while I wanted to try and get a short story published, and then, like, in that year, half of the magazines that I submitted short stories to canceled and closed out entirely. I used to have, like, names of certain magazines memorized, and I can't remember a single one. Not a single fucking one. Yeah, I've been playing around in my head in this universe, which it's probably because I've been watching so much Doctor Who. 'Cause I've been rewatching it, to catch up, to be ready for the specials that have been going up and stuff. David Tennant is my favorite Doctor, 110%. Doctor Who is just one of those shows that I sort of fell out of love with, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just my depression preventing me from taking joy in things. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, that's for sure. Watching Doctor Who, and that's made me think about this story I've had about these two guys, and one of them can manipulate time to some degree, and one of them can manipulate and help people jump from one dimension to the other. Like, they go on, like, all these crazy adventures, and they're, like, best friends, and everything's good, and they're like high schoolers when they finally come to terms with their powers, and la da da. And then they kind of, like, have been through enough dangerous situations that they decide that they want to chill out and just go to high school and finish that up, and then just have somewhat of a normal life. And the placeholder names I have, might not be their actual names. Placeholder names I have for now, their names have changed so many times, but the dimension hopper guy is Aaron, and the guy who can, like, manipulate time is Alex. And basically, well, that's one of the things I'm gonna have to be careful when I tackle this. Basically, like, they're in high school and doing their thing, and then there is a shooter on the premises, and suddenly they're in danger. And long story short, the Aaron kind of, like, has this point where he can either basically help Alex and a bunch of people sort of, like, blockade themselves and be safe, or he can just, like, dip and ensure himself to be safe, because if he helps them, he's going to be doing it from, like, the outside of the room, blah blah blah. I had a whole scenario figured out. I'm gonna have to refigure it out, but basically, like, Aaron can either sacrifice himself in order to protect his best friend and a dozen people, or he can just run away. What actually happens, because like in the rules of this universe, there's like rules about what creates a choice. It's one of the things that I've been messing around with a lot of my stories. So like in order, there's like all these different things that need to add up in order for somebody to be able to make a choice that spawns two different dimensions, right? It's very, like, he can tell that, like, that's the kind of choice that's coming up. That, like, that is, like, there's gonna be one dimension where he does, one dimension where he doesn't save everybody. And Alex can, because he's been traveling through dimensions and stuff, has exposure to things and stuff like that, he can tell too. The Alex that lives and survives in the one where Aaron sacrifices himself, he gets like super depressed and angsty, and PTSD survivors go all up the wazoo. And then like 10 years later, the Aaron that ran away shows up, and because they have like this old enemy that goes around and tries to like take over, use, abuse, kill, like just a bad person messing around with dimensions and stuff like that. And he is trying to like experiment on different versions of Alex to try and get his time travel-y thing to expand and be more stable, so that he can like mess around with the universes more in his own way. And Aaron finds out about this because Aaron is still traveling through dimensions and going on adventures. And then Alex, he can't travel through dimensions, and like he doesn't want to mess around with his time stuff too much anyway because it's super dangerous. So he just kind of lives his life. And then Aaron finds out that like Alex, the Alex that survived from the choice he didn't make, is in danger. And I guess a version of Alex, because there's going to be tons of dimensions by that point. There's a whole bunch of whole lore things about it all. But basically, Aaron goes to find Alex and save him. But they have these rules where they're not supposed to treat other versions of themselves like themselves, because they don't know how it is that those alternate versions of themselves might be different. Even the alternate versions of themselves might not know how it is that they are different. Like, it's a big, complicated, messy kind of a thing. So, like, they've just kind of learned to, like these rules of, like, not interacting with alternate versions of each other and not treating alternate versions of each other like they are the same person, because they're not. So Aaron going to find Alex and protect him it's a big old messy thing for the two of them. Because like they both are and are not, they're each other's best friends 10 years later, because like they are like as close as they're gonna be from most dimensions, since it's like, you know, there's like, it's basically like, you know, like Aaron in a lot of ways is basically like if Aaron had lived. And I mean, because he is, if Aaron had lived. But it's hard for like, you know, Alex to really like deal with that, because he's already been trying to like cope in his own way with all the things that have happened. So he's not happy about Aaron trying to save him up until the you know, actual danger shows up. And then like, you know, various dimensions are now in danger and they gotta go on their adventures again and save people. I've just always had a lot of fun playing around with that. I'm not writing anything down really. Just, I don't know, listening to a lot of songs that I used to listen to when I would work on that project. But even then, when I did work on that project, it wasn't as like fleshed out as it is now, except for the areas where I have forgotten a few things. So I don't know, maybe this, like, since I'm watching lots of Doctor Who and it's like a vacation time, maybe that'll help be my sort of palate cleanser before January comes up and I try to like go into it being more productive and like making my games and doing my things. Something I'm having fun with, I guess. I want it to be like an actual thing at some point. Might be like the first game that I'm gonna make, because like the game that I'm working on right now is in a lot of ways kind of like a help me figure out a blueprint for other games I want to make in a similar way. And like the Vecchioa series is like this high fantasy universe series that is set in this like high fantasy universe that I made when I was a little kid. And I've been trying to flesh that out more now that I can like approach it as an adult rather than like a little kid who's just wants to be Tolkien, but he's like 8 years old, so too bad. I figure that a game in that universe might be one of my first ones after The Dark Mark. In fact, I'm not even sure, like, I've had the idea of, like, initially, this was gonna be this other one, which I can't, I've gone through different names. I originally thought of calling it, like, the Axis, because, like, you know, there's, like, you know, the, like, you know, X and Y axis, and it's kind of like, you know, Aaron can control, well, Alex can control one axis, and Aaron controls the other for them, but, like, something about that still doesn't feel right. I do want it to be something. Lately, I've just kind of been picturing it as, like, a movie or a mini-series, and I know exactly what song would be the theme song if I could choose whatever song I wanted. All that kind of stuff. I'm trying not to be so hard on myself about all this stuff, you know? I gotta remember that, like, though it's hard for me to say, and it's hard for other people to see and understand, like, I am disabled in a lot of ways, and one of the ways is being depressed, and it would be a lot more easy for, like, others to understand, or even for me to, like, remember and understand if it had been something like my mom ripped my arm off, or like, you know, did something that where it was like a permanent physical thing, except that the permanent physical damage isn't so apparent. It's on my brain. I don't like thinking about it that way, but I kind of have to, because that's the way it is. When you think of it that way, I'm actually doing pretty okay, considering. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go.